gray. That's like the only color he ever wears.
All right, so we see him probably like at some like street corner or something, just like looking at you, Luna, like you're gonna be the death of me.
Ziegler just smiling and smoking, and you see like the embers of the
If I didn't
cigarette.
need the money, Ziegler, then I'd cut you off. I know a man.
Of course you do. I know I can trust you, dear friend.
Slips you a piece of paper with like a number on it or something, an address.
Yeah.
Then we see Vice walking up.
Cut from shady corner of the harbor, where the last thing you see is the ember of Ziegler's cigarette, like flaring up and then going out in the dark.
It like fades out just there.
Yeah, fades out, and then we cut to Vice walking up with like her full business suit thing on.
To another business-like man who's of course tall and handsome and broad-shouldered and everything, because these business types always in this place tend to be. Probably surgery, all of it, but yeah. And how do we sort of from a distance, we don't hear the words, but what's the action we see?
It'd probably be Vice being a very typical, like, a hand on a guy's shoulder, kind of like laughs ridiculously at possibly a joke that was said, and generally being her typical flirtatious self, and trying to influence him to do what we want, to get away with what we want to do at a cheaper price, of course.
From a distance, it's obvious that he's promising a lot more than money then.
Yeah. And of course, he doesn't actually know what her real name is, so she's never going to pay up on that promise. As is also her MO.
But he doesn't have to know that.
Exactly. No one needs to know
that. So I suppose let's see that roll in. You get, of course, a bonus die from involving.
Oh, an extra die. Sorry.
One more die.
Do that. 5.
Okay.
All right. Well, this is pretty heavy work, and he will indeed sell you a helicopter. Though no questions asked necessarily for the 4 cred.
All right. Wonderful.
If you have that to spend.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Do we want to
No,
take it off character sheets or out the vault?
Well, I think it depends on who wants to spend any. If anyone wants to spend their money on it, then they can expend it from theirs. Otherwise, we have to expend it from the vault.
We'll take it from the vault. It's a group thing, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Or empty your vault then.
Yeah. And then if we level up the group, we'll have to pitch in our money from ourselves.
Yes.
Or get paid again.
Actually, that reminds me. We leveled up our group last time, right?
Yes.
We did?
Yes.
Yeah, right. We got the bleach.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Whenever that happens, it's also a payday. You get paid 1 cred each, as it turns out.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you level up your
Oh, that's wonderful.
your group, you get paid your hold in money, and right now that's 0, but at minimum 1. So technically, I guess that would pay for the.
I suppose this pays for it. We don't touch the money at all.
Yeah. All right. Awesome.
Excellent.
We spent our payday on a helicopter.
Oh, it's great. It's the best.
And this
payday
money
ever.
basically represents money you get from extraneous activities outside of the jobs you do, like whatever things your characters are doing otherwise.
So I may have So Vice introduced me to this businessman, and I may have hacked into his accounts. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Just don't put spiders everywhere.
Did you leave that stupid spider dog in there?
However,
not on his account. On the ATM, yes.
That's the thing, though. He really shouldn't have done that, because there is, of course, you've got a 5. There's your highest, so there's a little bit of a connection to it. This helicopter was actually meant to go to someone else, like a crime man who might have considered doing something, kind of like what you have chosen to do. And so you can add 2 pieces of heat to organized crime, because he's a little angry that you that you co-opted his helicopter. Those are not easy to come by, as it turns out.
Maybe for organized crime, but for Shadowrunners, they're apparently very easy.
Maybe you're just that good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Now we have a helicopter.
yeah, a crime boss that's slightly pissed.
Yeah.
They're always
fuck 'em.
pissed. Yeah.
Yeah, they're always pissed, exactly.
Who's gonna deliver his drugs to the east now?
Vice,
Yeah,
as it
right.
turns out.
I'll do all of them.
Yeah.
She just got stored everything.
Just takes it.
Like,
and then
oh.
takes it away. It's like, yep, I
Ship
delivered
3 better than life cheaps at a time. Just
it.
Now we get paid to take drugs. It's great.
well, you know. Yeah. So I suppose we then see Ziegler standing in his. What is like for us to see the scene of him standing here looking over the helicopter at his helipad? Where like what does it look like? This place. We don't know where it is, but what does it look like from the inside here?
Well, the helipad is. It's probably actually on like a rooftop somewhere in town. Like it's just a. It's a I'm thinking something like from the Dark Knight Rises. It's just one of the many rooftops in town, and he has previously, perhaps there was an operation in this part of Berlin when the Flux State fell, where there was a lot of like guerrilla tactics. There was a lot of partisan war and stuff going on, and as a result, there was a lot of like hidden shelters. Like caches and things like that built and stored to like fuel this invasion / the defense of it. And part of that was this secret military, basically supply depot that once was on top of this building. The supplies and everything like that is gone now, but the camouflage and the netting and all of that stuff still remains up here and in working order. So a helicopter can be safely stored in this like hangar place up there without anyone really noticing. And as it happens, the building belonged to a maybe a small corporation or something that got destroyed in the invasion. The only one with the codes to this particular part of the building is Ziegler.
So inside is just like dirty and the floors are broken, but the elevator works to get you to the roof.
Exactly, and maybe I'm thinking maybe the helipad is also like connected to like it can. I don't know how wild I can go with this, but maybe the helipad itself is like hidden in like the top floor of the building, so it sort of opens up the roof and you can fly out that way. And so the top floor of the building would be the hangar, itself, with. It's not top shape or anything, but it works. The lighting works. There's electricity. There's water. He has like workbenches and things there that he can use to fix vehicles stored in here. It's
a helicopter garage.
Yes, exactly.
So I guess you can add small helicopter to your list of vehicles.
Awesome. I do need a new vehicle. Yep, thank you, Dark.
It has basically two front seats, like you have the pilot and then a next to it, and then it resembles like a small news helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
It has been recently painted like a tar black color, probably so hide it easily when it flies at night. And probably also hide whatever symbols it might have had beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
There's two passenger seats or two room in there that you can have. It doesn't carry that much more as it is. Doesn't have any armor. It's not a combat helicopter.
All right. Does it have any additional traits? Autonomous road navigation
traits as this. I mean, it doesn't navigate roads, that's for sure.
Sure.
It flies.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me just give me a second here. Search for car.
Flying.
thing. See if we can find a.
No, there is no spider paint job, Larian.
Oh, I'm not doing that. Never.
Would Ziegler really spend time painting the thing?
Oh,
I
don't
mean, he
worry.
might, honestly.
Oh, don't worry.
But
There'll be a spider motif when I'm done.
It would be rotary aircraft navigation. Yeah.
Rotary aircraft navigation.
Yeah, that's about right. Basically, helicopter.
That's what that's called.
Alright.
Helicopter
Then it has
navigation.
the loud as well,
Mm.
because it's a helicopter and it's like tum 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 tum.
Is that
You
too
know.
in the future? Make it like the Comanche, who has like a like it has different blades like flying in different directions to like cancel out the sound of it, I think. So it's like almost completely silent.
Oh, I know the ones you mean.
Beyond that, it is not stealthy. It's not really anonymous. It's not distinct either, though. It would have been if there was like, an advertisement on it or something.
Doge. A spider doge on the side of it.
Just middle finger is pointing every direction.
Oh, that would be great though. They see the spider doge
Music,
helicopter fly by, and then the kids are like, yeah, the night shift, woo!
Can I get a hologram projector to at times send that out?
Yeah. And so perhaps we see him like, does he have like a thing he does when he's thinking, or is happy, or
Oh yes. I mean,
how do we see when he stands there looking at the thing sitting in the hangar, right?
I mean his main thing, like I mean, when he's happy, he has a very thin smile, that sort of mischievous smile on him, and he would. I don't know. He doesn't really have a like face tick or anything. I think when he's like thinking or something, he generally taps his temples with like his index and long finger on his left hand. That's sort of his thinking, like pose or whatever.
Scratching a little at the data jack.
Exactly. Like running his fingers around it, basically. When he's happy, he has that thin, mischievous smile, though. And maybe he even rubs his hands a little bit.
So I suppose we fade to the black, and then like the black is interrupted by the sound of a helicopter, and then we see that it's like a star glinting up there, and it's really the night sky we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Then, as I suppose, people are in the helicopter, flying over the east.
Awesome.
Looking down there for all the the little fires and stuff. It's a very different city. Doesn't have as much of the neon light. Has a much more sort of a red light and smoke coming up from it. Still looks just about like a war zone down there. I don't think any of you have been there recently.
No. I love flying, Ziegler says to himself, looking out.
How do we see each of your characters in the helicopter?
But was there even room for all of us?
There's 4 seats, 2 in the back
Okay.
and 2 in the front.
There is nothing much to us just sitting there looking out the window.
Yeah, Vice isn't too bothered either.
He's not doing the quiet, like bending thing from Metal Gear Solid 5, the helicopter.
I have not seen that movie.
Oh, it's a game, and it's hilarious.
Ashley is.
Oh,
Ash,
I've not
Ashley,
played that game.
Okay.
Ashley is beside Ziegler at the front. What's that? Yeah, Ashley's beside Ziegler at the front. See it looking just completely faded and like partially like she's not really paying attention. Though that's partially because she's in cold sim right now.
Oh, where's she locked into?
Her own data jack.
All right, she's just sitting there.
She's just finishing off her own preparations.
Sure. If you want to see what the east looks like, that's our little image there. The east, hence why
Where
it's
is this?
south.
That's
Under
it.
Below
our
the
little
map.
Berlin map, we
Yep.
have our west and east sort of graphics.
Yeah, Vice hasn't been to the east. Turns out that they don't really want to
Never
send
been there?
pop stars there.
That's true. It looks much. It's like shantytown levels of just metal building upon metal. There's like old high rises and such, but they haven't built any new ones, obviously. So it looks very squalidly down there.
Yes, throughout most of the helicopter flying, actually doesn't really, at least while we're flying over the east, actually just doesn't seem to want to come out of her cold sim right now. Doesn't really want to look down there all that, for a few reasons perhaps. If any of you actually, make it so she has to come out to answer questions, she will answer them as briefly as possible for heading back in.
You know, Vice is can be quite nosy. She'll say, "So, why are you scared of flying?"
I'm not.
It's probably more like, "Why are you scared of flying?"
I'm sure we got like the headsets.
We have earpieces. We have
earpieces.
Like headphones on. Yeah, I suppose that's true.
I'm not afraid of flying.
Well,
I just don't like where we are.
What do you mean? Over the east?
Yes. She kind of pauses for a few moments, kind of looking at it. I've taken effort to avoid it as much as possible, most of the time. It's not really the best thing to think about when everyone who's now in the East used to be the ones who grew up in your childhood. How the city has changed. How the city has changed.
Ziegler nods. I remember the invasion. He says gruffly.
Oh.
It's the day after my wife said we were divorcing, so it sort of felt fitting, you know.
That was odd timing for you. She gives almost a suspicious look at Ziegler.
Well, we got a divorce, and the flux state divorced itself from reality, one could say. Looks down on the ruins.
Perhaps a few sentences of like a pirate radio signal from below can be heard on the scratching radio. Just sort of, welcome to another good night in the flux. Everyone, I hope you're safe out there. Take care.
Mm-hmm.
Anarchy lives on, and we got to come together and work as a community. That sort of thing.
That's what anarchy.
Just slightly scratchy from
Sure.
down there.
Sure.
There is at least for Ziegler, who's sitting right beside Ashley, she does her best to hold a straight face, but there's a significant twitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll
Very
shoot her a glance from time to time. You have a slight, understanding look about him. He knows that the flux state means a lot to her, or meant, I guess.
Like 17 people died last night attempting to bring supplies in. What I wouldn't give for a fresh apple right now, They don't have much of anything down there.
Once they had it all, now they have nothing. Anyone else need me? Looks back towards Vice.
Vice shrugs.
No? No? Good. Suddenly just leans forward again, falling into the ditch jack.
Yeah. We see you sort of fly, and we see the big like walls with the blinking like red lights on top of it, separating the east here, the central east of 11 from the little outbreak of the sprawl here in 12. Land that was recaptured in the wall, so it goes through it. It sits there. There's sort of a good broad zone between the wall and anything else, and then there's like a second on slightly smaller wall where the guards are patrolling, looking down flux state guards, and of course corporate security forces as well, making sure that that no one breaks in or out. There are transportation checkpoints where like raid forces sometimes ascend in to like if a crime has been done, they get punished by raids into the east. As the plan is, of course, for the allied German states to reconquer that territory from the insurgents at some point. So, it is a heavy investment for not a lot of gain, so it's sort of been put off in this perpetual sort of siege situation. Some believe that this is all, dragon action, as perhaps Lofer is looking to take this all for himself and doesn't want other corps in on the action, hence waiting for the opportune moment. Dragons are behind everything these days. We see the stark contrast of, like, again, the neon lights, the shining golden glass towers standing of the eastern west, I suppose, of the Berlin sprawl here with its neon lights, and it's we see the big reactor tower, and as you're flying over it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I suppose we cut away, and then we see you in a building, probably like moving to the plan was to find a place to hold, so to speak, while your bodies would be kept.
Yeah. Safely store the bodies while we can do some drone hacker action.
Uh-huh. So the next cut we see is well, you're running down a hallway. There's like blinking red lights, and in the end of the hallway there's like a security door that's doing the dramatic, like, beginning to shut, as we see probably Asher just typing on the deck while running to stop the security door from closing completely, letting you into one of the tram hallways. The alarm is currently blaring, and their security force is hunting you. Apparently, they were not as unexpected that something like this would occur. Perhaps they have been on high security, or perhaps something else is going on somewhere else that has put them on high alert. Regardless, you've landed, the helicopter is on the roof, and, well, the man is in the other building, but this is not going to be stealthy or easy. People are coming for you, and basically you're in the hallway down a few steps from the roof. I will make you a little drawing over here to help illustrate what the current situation is.
At least.
Here is the bridge between the towers. This over here is the building that you want to be in. You are, however, in this building here. This is, of course, just not the actual size. It's just a illustration. And you are sort of here, having just managed to stop the security door from locking you out of the other building. The tramway sort of goes, and then it like turns out of the building.
And this is why
Here.
the spy idea. Keep you alert.
Security door almost closed. You can see sort of a tram pausing midway through here as it can no longer like continue on, right? And you see the like the windows just get covered with like steel plating to protect the people, probably in the tram, as it just stops dead in its tracks there. It doesn't want to run you over, probably. A loudspeaker sort of says, "Please surrender. We do not want to harm you. Whatever you're doing, this is not worth dying over.
Sure.
So run away and come back next week.
I think
Then,
we're
then
in
we're
it.
not going to have a good chance. We need to do this now.
Yeah.
We don't have a good chance now, though.
Oh, I think we're in it already. So we're not gonna.
The thing is though, if they take a guess what we did, or who we were after, which at least he'll work it out. He's going to go into hiding.
Yeah. Now or never.
This is why you have a drone loaded with bullets.
There are
Hopefully
probably
plastic.
people coming from behind you to get you. You're in sort of the main access tower. You can move to the sort of the housing tower. However, staying put here is probably not a good idea. At least.
It makes sense to proceed as quick as possible, right?
Yeah.
I thought we landed on a house tower.
No. We landed.
There's no landing pad on that one.
Okay.
It's on the main one.
We need to cross the bridge.
Yeah.
They're sort of in a main tower, and there's like other like the big reactor towers. I'm going around these paths. Yeah. So I suppose you begin running to the other side.
I guess how do we get out of
And,
here
you
then,
do.
if we can't go back?
Well, I think we can. We just need to find the way to get back.
Maybe you have a plan.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe this is all part of the plan.
Maybe you have some explosives on you. Who knows, right?
I should do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out when we get if we need them. If you have explosives.
You sort of move to the other side where there's again the blaring, and here you are hit with a security door that has closed. It is of course on the local network. However, taking time to do stuff with it here is dangerous. You don't really have the time
Well,
unless you are willing to go into a firefight with these people.
well, perhaps. Seeing that there's a potential that this could happen, Ashley has already attempted to skim and obtain potential passcodes already.
All right, that would have required some forethought, certainly, even some work. That's probably going to be a let's say a 2 karma flashback,
I can do that.
and we'll see how good passcodes they are.
Sure. Give me a second then. Could I expend any stress from my cyber deck for this or not?
If you want to stress the cyber deck, sure.
Yeah, because hacking this would have taken would have been not the easiest thing, but good thing I did that.
Yeah, these are pretty good passcodes, as it turns out, and the door just sort of as you mash them into your deck, it does open. You're pretty sure though that whenever you do this, it puts like alerts to the system administrator though that this is where you are, so you can get through the door, but they're not good enough to stop you from being traced. Basically, that would be the consequence here.
Well,
You don't have to take that, of course, but
it's true. I could, as I've done many times, try to stop this.
Uh-huh.
Which the idea was to do this subtly. Perhaps Adjua did in fact, with a bit of forethought, try to block said connection, disconnect it just in time so they wouldn't reach the administrator.
uh-huh.
Because she knows what she's doing. She knows about security. This is not her first hacking run.
All right, she's fast enough. Then you take a
Bit of stress.
a karma
Sure.
to instead not be tracked. As we see the slight red light, just turn on and then turn out, as you can move to the other end. It's still like has like the loudspeakers are on saying things like, you know, turn yourself in. We will be fair and there will be no violence and that sort of thing. As you move your way into the sort of the living quarters, so to speak. There's like a station here where the tram would generally allow people to get off and on. It has been cleared, probably when the alarm hit, a little bit after you descended into the tower. Like people were moved to secure areas. Civilians have been taken away from what they think might be your path. Or from your area have been evacuated or put in secure locations. They have like these rooms that are basically there for that purpose.
Panic rooms.
Yeah, to keep them out of your way, which you might appreciate as much as they do, as it turns out.
Can't these loudspeakers shut up?
I mean, I think you could fix that, right?
We don't have time.
Well then. Whose fault is it? I guess
I blame Ziegler's driving.
Surly look.
Anyway, which way was it?
That way.
I hope this information of yours is good.
Well, you know, I promised a lot of things that are never gonna happen, so...
That's what worries me.
They don't know it's never gonna happen.
What we do.
Yeah, you can basically begin moving in the right direction. There's a few floors. Do you plan to take the stairs or the elevator?
Stairs.
Stairs.
Yeah.
Never trust the elevator.
Never take the
Always
elevator. Come on.
stairs.
Well-
Technology.
Well,
Well, let's be honest,
Elevators
they
have
probably cut the elevator
cameras.
on us.
Yeah, they have cameras and can be just stopped, so...
and that's what all the normal peoples are gonna take.
Evo doesn't
Okay.
have cameras in the population building because they don't want to infringe on your privacy.
Fucking
Wait,
Evo,
what?
they're too nice. Oh, it's sickening.
You know, it will be their downfall.
Yeah, it's sickening, honestly.
That you were just
We'll
looking,
get them.
just looking weirdly at you.
They're too nice. In Aztec,
Just like
they've got cameras everywhere.
Little screen. It's like, you know, hey, Evo employee, you know, remember that you get your extra credit for sending the weekend's tennis match. Like a man, you know, hitting tennis inside the indoor like hall. These little advertisements reminding you of all the social engagements that they hold to get their people to work well together.
Sickening. Utterly.
You see, like unity in diversity is like a troll and a human orc and a dwarf and an elf sort of all like sit around a table in their ties and like working in a meeting, like look up and just, oh, we didn't see you there, you know. Welcome to Evo.
Oh,
Yeah, stand by my statement.